Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about natural wonders. This will be our last topic in unit number 3. So in today's class, let's see what we're going to talk about. We'll speak about natural features and natural wonders. So natural features of the world and natural wonders of the world. We will also look at vocabulary when we talk about natural features, also natural wonders. We will use superlatives to talk about natural wonders as well. And then you will have a chance to prepare for the activity for the week. So the first slide that I have for you is, I think, a very familiar slide. It has a forest. So what is a forest? A forest is a large area that's covered mainly with trees, and it also has grass and small shrubs around it. And this is a natural feature. You find it in every country. I think mostly every country has forests, and this constitutes as a natural feature of nature. It's a part of nature. So moving on, this one is a glacier. So what's a glacier? A glacier is something that's found in the poles, in the North Pole and the South Pole, and it's generally a slowly moving mass of river of ice that is formed by snow on the mountains. So glacier is mostly found in countries that are really cold, and like I said before, they're also found in the North and the South Pole. A continent entirely made of glaciers is Antarctica. The next one is known as a canyon. The most famous is the Great Canyon in the US. It's also known as a gorge. Canyon is a word for a gorge. Gorge means a deep mountain, like a deep gorge. Canyon, typically one where you have mountains on either side, and these have been formed for years and years altogether, and it's typically one with a river flowing through it. So that is known as a canyon. In British English, it's known as a gorge. So when you see the word gorge, don't get confused, it's the same as a canyon. The next one that we have is known as a hill. I don't think I need to explain what a hill is, but a hill is naturally a raised area of land. It is not as high as a mountain, it's smaller than a mountain. So when you see hills, they look like mountains, but mountains are more higher. They're bigger as well. Hills are generally smaller. So any collection of land that looks not like flat, that has a little elevation and it looks a little high, the first, which is not as high as a hill, is known as a mound. Then is a hill, and then is a mountain. So hill is a naturally raised area of land that is not as high as a mountain. This is an island. You call it an island and not an island. Okay? It's not the same as Spanish. You call it an island. The S is silent. It's called an island. So Galapagos are groups of islands, not Iceland, but island. It's a piece of land that's surrounded by water. So you could have islands anywhere, in fact, in the ocean. You could say Galapagos is a good example. It's a group of islands together and they form the Galapagos. Yeah? Now moving on, this one is a natural feature that's known as a lake. It's a large body of water that's very large. It's not flowing, so it's not a river. It's a large body of water that is not flowing. It stays where it is. Okay, but it is surrounded by land. You have a lot of lakes in Ecuador. This is a marsh. It's called a marsh. So what is a marsh? Whenever you have a lake, it's the ground that's near or around a lake or any water body like a river or the sea, and it often floods. So you have a lot of water on it or around it, and it is always wet. It always has water around it, so it's wet. This is a photograph of Petaluma Marsh. So now this one is a mountain. Like the definition goes, it's a large, steep hill. So a larger hill becomes a mountain. It's no longer a hill, it's a mountain. We have a lot of mountains in Ecuador as well. This is a slide of a river. It's a large stream of water that's flowing. So that's where the difference between a lake and a river comes. A river flows, the water keeps on moving. In a lake, the water does not move. It does not flow to another place, it just stays as it is. You have a lot of rivers here too. The biggest one is near the Amazon. This is a picture of a swamp. If you remember, I told you what a marsh is. A swamp is similar to a marsh. However, there's a small difference, and I will tell you the difference in the next few slides. This is similar to marsh, like I said. However, it has trees in the water. So it's water that's not moving, and it's surrounded by trees, and it's always flooded. There is another difference, and like I said, I will show it to you in the next few slides. This is a waterfall. Now, the most famous one is the Iguazu waterfall in Argentina. Also, the very famous waterfall is the Niagara waterfall. It's a cascade of water that falls from a height. Generally, it's really high, so it seems like it's falling off a mountain. But it comes with a lot of force. So the water falling down from a height, and it's a cascade of water. That's called a waterfall. So let's see the difference between a marsh and a swamp. This would be ideally a difference. A marsh is near a lake or a sea, and it's always wet. It has plants around, small plants, but it does not have trees. That's the major difference. And a swamp is an area of soft, wet land that has plants, and it also has trees. Swamps are not near sea. They're generally near lakes, and they're basically wet, soft land. That is why you have plants and trees around it, or in it rather. Let's see a few natural wonders, and you will also see some man-made wonders. Man-made wonders would be something like Machu Picchu. It's a man-made wonder. Something that's very exceptional and it stands out. So it's something that men have made or naturally made phenomena, a monument, a natural feature that looks very amazing when you see it. We're going to look at 7 wonders of the natural world. So you have a few wonders here. You have the Aurora Borealis, also known as the Northern Lights. Then you have the Grand Canyon. You also have Mount Everest, the Victoria Falls, the harbor of Rio de Janeiro, the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, and the Paricutin volcano in Mexico. So let's see these in a lot more detail. You will also see how we use superlatives to actually define or describe natural wonders. Because when something is wonderful, means it's exceptional. It's something very special. So in this first slide, you see the Great Barrier Reef. It's the largest coral reef system in the world. The largest coral reef system in the world. It's also the largest individual formation that is created by living organisms, because corals are made by living organisms. It stretches, that means its length is over 1,600 miles. And a very special feature is that you can see it from outer space. So from outer space, when you look at Earth, you can actually see the stretch of the coral reef system. So the superlative would be the largest coral reef system in the world and the largest formation created by living organisms. Now this one is Mount Everest. As everyone would know, Mount Everest is the highest mountain in the world, and its peak, rather its summit, is 8,848 meters. It's in the Himalayas between Nepal and Tibet. Some also say that it's now a territory of China, in the territory of China. And you would believe that these mountains were formed from a river. So the river rose up these mountains, and Mount Everest is a beautiful mountain. I visited it in Nepal. It's amazing. The next one is Victoria Falls. Now these are the largest fall in the world, and it's in Zambia. Its width is 1.7 kilometers and it's 108 meters high. The height is 108 meters. So the water falls from 108 meters down. It's also called Mocio Atunya, that means smoke that thunders. And there are 2 national parks that protect the falls. I want you to find out why. Why are there 2 national parks that protect the falls? This is a question to you to think about and research about. Now moving on, the Grand Canyon. We spoke about this. We saw this in the previous slide. This is a massive gorge in Arizona. I would say it's called the Grand Canyon because it's the largest canyon in the world. It's 227 miles long, up to 18 miles wide and 1 mile deep. It's very beautifully colored because it's made from years and years of erosion. And how could you explore something like Grand Canyon? Many people go to the Grand Canyon to explore this natural wonder. It's the largest gorge in the world. The 5th one is the Aurora Borealis. These are also called the Northern Lights. How are they created? When charged particles from the solar wind collide with the Earth's atmosphere, the magnetic field around makes the lights appear as if they're dancing. So the colors are actually caused by these particles and gas together. So Aurora Borealis is known as Northern Lights. This would be the most beautiful wonder, natural wonder that you can see at night. This is the Paricutin volcano. It's like a cone. It's a cinder cone volcano in Mexico. and when it was formed, it was witnessed by humans. So humans saw how this volcano was formed. The last eruption was in 1952. That was the last time this volcano erupted in Mexico. The seventh, last but not the least, is the harbor of Rio de Janeiro. This is in Brazil, and it's created by the Atlantic Ocean's erosion. Now you can see the harbor around. You can see that you have some mountains around it, and it's the largest bay in the world. When you look at how much water it has, it's the largest bay in the world. It's surrounded by mountain formations and also a very, very busy city as Rio de Janeiro. So what is the activity that we're going to do this week? You will look at a few slides. I'm going to show you a few slides, and you will choose one of the wonders. You will see man-made wonders, and you will also see natural features. So you have to talk about these wonders, and I want you to find out the superlative that you can use to describe the wonder. I'm going to show you the wonders in the next slide. The first is the Great Pyramid of Egypt. What is so special about it? You have to use a superlative to give me more details about the Great Pyramid. Remember, this would be part of your activity, so you have to do the research and find out what is so special about the Great Pyramid that is in Egypt. The next one is the Sahara Desert. It's in Africa. What is so special about the Sahara Desert? You have to talk about the desert or what is so special about it using superlatives. The next one is the Stonehenge. This is a very strange looking formation of rocks. So you have to find out what is so special about it and use superlatives to define it. It's the Stonehenge from England. The next one is the Matterhorn in Switzerland. As you can see, it's a mountain. You have to tell me what is so special about this mountain using superlatives. This is the Golden Gate Bridge in the US. Many of you might have visited this Golden Gate, so you might know the Golden Gate Bridge in the US. This is a man-made wonder, so you have to find out what superlatives can you use to explain something about the Golden Gate Bridge. The next one is very popular. These are the Niagara Falls in Canada. There's something very special about them, so you have to use superlatives to define them, to tell me something special about them. The next one is a very famous Colosseum in Italy. This is a wonder, a man-made Roman wonder that's very, very popular with tourists in Italy. So you have to tell me something special about this using the superlatives. The next one is a natural wonder, and it's called the Iris Rock in Australia. When you Google Iris Rock, you will find many amazing facts about this rock. So you have to use the superlatives like we did with EST, or the highest, the biggest, the most unique, the most beautiful, the largest, the longest, etc. Superlatives like this to tell me what exactly is the Iris Rock. Okay. The next one is the Great Wall in China. This is well known around the world. People from all over the world go to visit the Great Wall, and there is something very special about the wall. You have to tell me what exactly is it. I also included another, that is the Aurora Borealis again. So you have to tell me something special about the aurora borealis as well. But remember that you have to use a superlative. Last but not the least, this is something that is world famous as well. People from all over the world go to visit the Taj Mahal in India. This is a man-made wonder. You have to tell me what is so special about it using superlatives. And that would be all that you have to do for the activity. Remember that if you have a question or a query, please you can write to me on my email and I will definitely reply to you. So see you in the next class. Good luck with the activity. Thank you and bye.